Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol RNVA. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So all this here may look like several days worth of time. It's actually just the past 2 days broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to do this time frame. I think it's a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out where levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Did this analysis yesterday, so that's where this green line is coming from, and that'll come factored in here again in a second. But before I get started, I should note that, from a presentation standpoint, this is actually a pretty tricky chart to talk about because there's a lot of it depends that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, it really does depend on what your strategy, what your viewpoint was. Meaning, if you're a day trader or flipper, whatever you want to call yourself, and maybe you bought right there, or maybe you bought right there, or heck, maybe you bought right there and you wanted to sell in any of those instances within, let's just say 20 minutes, then yeah, for you, the chart's looking pretty rough. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, then yeah, I get it. From the highs, there's been a pretty big pullback. But from the big picture, the bulls do still have an opportunity to build a higher base. And as long as you have higher bases being built over longer periods of time, that's how long-term uptrends are constructed. I'm going to be talking about things from a big picture perspective. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you probably had more of the day trader / flipper perspective going into it. And that is where this green line comes back into play. The key level of support I talked about in yesterday's video down there at 0022. And it's kind of a double whammy because you also have the purple line down there right around that same area, which is that famous 50-period simple moving average. But the reason this general area on the chart is so important is, let's say the price continues to do what it's been doing. So to give some credit where credit's due, it is good to see that the price started to go sideways right around this general area. So let's say that continues for a little while longer and then eventually starts to work its way back upwards. Emphasis on big picture. So from the big picture perspective, what would you have in this situation? Well, you'd have a set of lows right here. You'd have this set of lows down there. If you picture each one of these as stair steps, then from the big picture, you still have stair steps very clearly still going in the upwards direction, and that's the name of the game. That's what is going to matter within the grand scheme of things, is just higher lows over and over again. Again, once more, I'm well aware that if you're a day trader, flipper, and you bought some around there, then yeah, you couldn't care less about these stair steps. But that's why I try to offer up a warning that I would be making comments from a grand scheme of things perspective. So sure, today the price pulled back, but stop and think about that word, today, as in 1 day. Look at it multiple days, which is what we're doing here. You can see the bulls still have an opportunity to build a higher base, so that is certainly priority number 1 going into next week. So let's see if the bulls can chip away and build a higher low or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.